In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can use PowerShell to navigate various artifacts in the SharePoint object model. So the first thing you want to do when you launch a new PowerShell session is add the PS snap-ins for Microsoft SharePoint. So add PS snap-in Microsoft SharePoint PowerShell. This is going to load all the various modules that are required for you to interact with the out-of-the-box SharePoint commandlet. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how I can get a reference to a web application. I'm going to call the get sp web application SharePoint commandlet. Pass it the URL of the root site collection. Basically, all it cares about really is the port. So in my case here, because I don't specify any port, it's going to be the web application that's on port 80. It's going to get a reference to it. Now, I have this web app object. I can get information about it just by typing the name of its variable. It says SharePoint 80, so that's the name of the web application in the IIS. Its URL, so this is actually my machine's name, which is translated to localhost there. But also what I can do is I can go in there and go web app pipeline. So basically what a pipeline means is that it's basically going to take this object here and send it over to the second portion of my command, and I'm going to be calling in the get member commandlet. So get member takes an object, retrieves all the various properties and methods that are exposed in it. So I want to see a list of all methods and properties that are available in my web app object. I do this, and there you go. So it gives me a bit more information here. So it's what the type is. So it's either method. So for example, my web app has a method called delete. The delete method is void, meaning it doesn't return anything and it doesn't expect any parameters. So I just go web app.delete, and in theory it should delete my web application. I'm guessing that's what the method does. You cannot get really a definition for what the method is, but at least you have a full listing of what the available options are for that variable. So you have the properties here. So for example, I can go, there's a needs upgrade method there, so I can just go web app.needs and then tab, so it's going to figure out with IntelliSense what method I was looking for. Type this in, it's going to return false, meaning my web app's up to date. So now in there's a property called sites. This is going to return me a list of all the site collections that are contained in my web app. So I can do just this here and go web app.sites. It's going to set this variable to my sites. Then I go in here, print the variable. It should print me a list of all the site collections. In here I only have one at the root, so it's only returning me one site collection. Then if I do sites get member, it's going to return me a list of all the properties and methods that are available for every single site collection in for the collection. So what I need to do, that's my bad. So if I want to get the properties that are available in one of the site collections, I know I only have one, so I'm going to access it by its position in the array, so ID 0. It's going to return me the list of all the properties that this site collection has. And then there's a method called all webs. So I'm going to declare a new variable called webs. I'm going to call the sites property array 0, and then I'm going to go all webs. So now my webs variable contains a list of all the various webs I have, and then in my case I only have one, which is the root web of the site collection. Not really exciting. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go new web. I don't have a template, but I could go in and create a new web through the interface, run the same thing, and I would get the full listing of all of the webs that are in there. Then I can go in there even more and go webs. I'm going to access the first web that's in there and get a full list of all the lists that are contained in my web. So okay, so this is a little crazy. It's printing me the content of every single list, all the properties and stuff. But you can see I have a bunch of them in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this here. I'm going to go select title. I just want to have the title of all the lists that are in my web. And there you go. So you see how I started with one object and I start digging deeper and deeper in the object model. In SharePoint, you have commandlets all the way down to the the web level. So for example, if I want to get a reference to web, I didn't really have to go and start with the SP web application as I did in this example. I could have just gone get SP web and then give the URL of the web I'm looking for, and it would have returned a reference to it. After that, though, there's no such method as get SP list, for example. That doesn't exist. The reason why is I can only guess that Microsoft didn't want to expose such methods because they require more than one parameter, right? You would have to pass it the URL of the web or a reference to it, and then the name of the list. There's no way for you to, even though you could in theory, but provide the comment with the URL to a list. That wouldn't really make sense. Really, you're accessing it by title, and then you need to figure out where in your hierarchy it fits. So you would need two parameters. So that's why we don't have such commentlets to interact with the list. But you can dig, if you understand the object model, it's really easy for you to go in to the very granular level and get the information you want. So from the lists, for example, if I go back, take all the lists in here, declare a new variable, call it list, get access to it. Then this list method, the first one, exposes another property called items. And then, okay, so there's nothing in it, not really exciting. But if I go in, let's have a look at the documents library. I know it has something in there. So I'm going to cheat here. You should never access a list like this, but so this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to access library 7 or list 7. Yeah, let's go like this, and then the items. Yeah, so I basically, it was the 7th that I wanted, the documents one, so I have to go -1 because the first item is always 0 in an array. So index position 6, and I see that I have some content in it. So I'm able to navigate through the object model using PowerShell in a very easy way. So hopefully you guys learned a bit today, and until next time.